Hey guys, Michael here. So, the iPhone X. I hear ya. Where's your review? When are you going to talk about this phone? Well, we're going to talk about it right now. So, before we start this video off, I just want to say that this video, the reason I hesitated to make this like a day after I unboxed the video, because I wanted to get the use and feel of the iPhone X. I wanted to kind of basically give my input, like see how it used for 1 week straight on a solid daily basis and see if it can handle all the stuff that I can do. So I have the results and I'm going to talk about it. Also, my face looks a little oily, I don't know why. But the iPhone X, Apple's biggest step forward, in their words, a big step forward for the iPhones from this point on. And to be honest, I see what they're doing. Alright, you know, they're trying to put themselves in a futuristic thing, you know. We're in an age now where people don't like bezels. And also, I'm going to fix this camera. And also, I am recording with the iPhone X, of course. Now, we're in a day and age where people want to utilize screen. Utilize is a key word. So I'm going to bring that up a few times in this video. But nowadays, we all want a big display. Before, we started out with 4-inch screen. Then we went up to 4.7. Then most recent was 5.5 inches. Now we're at a 5.8 inch, almost 6-inch screen to body ratio on a phone. And if you're with Samsung, you get a 6.3 inch. Amazing. But iPhone, they decided to do something different. They decided to try and change the competition. So what did they do? They released a 10th anniversary iPhone, which will obviously be the key, in my opinion, to what Apple will be doing for the next 10 years. Now, before we get any closer to any overall review, let's talk about how it works. So first of all, yes, interface is very smooth. I haven't had a problem once with the display. The screen to body ratio is a 96%, which is very good, in my opinion. The only thing, though, is you can notice there are slight bezels and it takes away at times, but it's not too complaining. I'm not complaining. Another thing that I liked was also convenience factor. Ability to wireless charge on a charging pad and also quick charging. Those are two key roles. For quick charge, you need something that you could just plug in and go. Wireless charging, I use it overnight and it's definitely really fun. So convenience factor, wireless charging, and quick charging are a key role. The quality of the phone. It feels very professional, has a bit of weight to it, will not lie. Definitely bulkier than I thought. Not as easy with one hand, but I expected that. As for the whole notch thing, to be honest, you learn to kind of ignore it. Because when you see the notch for the first time, you're like, okay, yeah, kind of. If you're going to go full display, yeah, you're going to notice it. But if you're doing, regular things, you're just going to learn to ignore it. And honestly, it hasn't bothered me, so I'm cool with it. Another thing I like about this phone, in my opinion, is also Face ID. Now, hear me out. I know Touch ID is much more faster and easier. But to be fair, Face ID is awesome, and I'm going to tell you why. So, with Touch ID, all my friends used to do that trick with your thumb and crap and get in, and everybody knew my password. Now you're probably saying just change your password, but Touch ID, either way, they get in my phone. With Face ID, it needs me, my face, and they don't know my new password, so all my friends have been trying to break in my phone, hasn't worked since. And for all intents and purposes, it works pretty good. It definitely works at night. It definitely works in the morning. As soon as I glare at it, it's unlocked and boom. Now, as for the gesture-based, it take a little time to learn, but it's not too hard in terms of using it as your way of the home button. Now, with no home button, it does kind of make you miss the home button. But to be fair, though, the gestures are very fluid. As for the swipe up, I am not a fan, however, of you holding down until there's a minus. Feel like they should have just kept it that way. You could just scroll and just keep swiping. You don't have to hold it down and wait for a minus button. That doesn't make sense. Camera wise, now for the cameras, all my friends have been clamoring about this one. I've taken a few portrait photos. They look amazing. Portrait lighting, hands down really good. And honestly, to be fair, I've tried also the optical image where it basically stabilizes it before you take the picture. Hell yeah, it did a great job, even on my television. So what I did was I zoomed out, and then the more you zoom, it like focuses automatically, which is definitely a key factor for what this phone was marketed for. So optical, I believe, for both cameras, they're optical, I believe, for both lenses, but I could be wrong. Finally, overall, the phone also, in my opinion, the stainless steel borders definitely are much better than the aluminum band on the iPhone 8 and 8 Plus, because if you were to drop it, it would take the impact and not really like, it would spread it evenly throughout the phone. So stainless steel bands are awesome and reminds me of the iPhone 4S. So right about now you're saying, Frasca, I hear you. You're saying a lot of nice things about that phone, and I am. It's a good phone, and it does what it needs to do. But here's the thing. I think that there's a better phone for your money that you can buy. See, the big problem with this phone is price. $999 for 64 gigs and $1,150 for 256. We're hitting a new low now for what you're expected to pay for a device. And that wouldn't be an issue if that was just this one phone, if it was $1,000. But there is another phone in Apple that does the same job as this phone, but for almost $300 less. And it is the iPhone 8 Plus. Now, screen to body ratio, yeah, there are two bezels, but it's a 5.5 inch screen versus 5.8 inch. So right now you might be saying, what do you mean? How's the iPhone 8 Plus better than the X if there's a bigger screen? Here's the thing. The iPhone X screen is cropped. Although it's longer, the image is not widely spread. That means you're seeing a condensed image, whereas with the iPhone 8 Plus, the display is much more wider. That is one plus, number one. Number two, design-wise, it's almost similar. There is aluminum band, which I am not really a fan of, but it is what they made it. There is a glass back. It has wireless charging, quick charging, so the build factor is pretty much the same. There's no difference. But here's another thing. Now, battery-wise, now this is a key one. The battery on the iPhone 8 Plus that was done in a test lasted 2 hours longer than the battery on the iPhone X. Mind blown. Now, I get it with Apple. Maybe with the battery, they kind of wanted to redesign it because, they got a giant display. And with all that display taking up so much, it's going to kill your battery. So they had to find a way to implement two batteries, and there are two batteries in this phone. They made it in an L shape, and I gotta give them some slack because honestly, before you just had one long battery that would do the job, but now you're stepping up to two batteries. But that still doesn't change the fact that the battery life is longer on the 8 Plus than on the $1,000 phone. Now, to be fair, even though both phones have the two cameras, the iPhone 8 Plus has a better quality one than on the X. And the reason is because this one is for the optical stabilization. Whereas with that one, if you zoom out, but still that doesn't change the fact that the camera is still better on that one. And for all intents and purposes, it's really the same phone. There's no way. Now, right now you're probably thinking, what are you talking about? This is Apple's premium phone. Of course it's going to be great. That other phone is $800. This is $1,000 and $1,050. So wouldn't you rather just pay the upgrade? Here's the thing. That's not what you're going to pay for an iPhone 8 or an 8 Plus today. As a matter of fact, the price is going to drop significantly. Right now, if you look up on Black Friday markets, and if you get your hands on Cyber Monday, iPhone 8 and 8 Pluses are expected to drop $200 less than their retail price. So that means you will pay $699 instead of $899 for an iPhone 8 Plus. Now, it's already a $200 difference. Bring that down on Cyber Monday or Black Friday, that's $400 off. So you tell me, $400 versus $1,000? I don't know. For $400, you can sure buy a lot of pizza for $400. Hell, I think you can even buy a PlayStation. So you tell me, what does that screen mean to you? And that camera in the back that's vertical. Now, It's nice to know that, oh, I have a big screen. One day, I'm going to take full advantage of it. Face ID, I take advantage of it every day. But it's nice to know that I have it. And also with those dual cameras, it's nice to know that I'm getting a stable image. But when it comes to battery, you use it every day. Even a little bit of extra battery is something you can utilize. It's like that extra hour or minute that you need to take. It's that phone call you cannot miss. It's that text message you cannot miss. And right now, from what I'm seeing and what I'm hearing, the iPhone 8 Plus outperforms the $1,150 iPhone X at $799. Now, if you want to get a real technical, I'm going to pull in one more device that does an even better job. Now, this isn't for Apple users, but it's a Samsung Galaxy S8 and an S8 Plus. And for all intents and purposes, they're very similar phones. One runs on Android, the other one's on iPhone. But here's the thing, the screen is better. Just saying, in my opinion. But this phone is awesome, I will say. But it doesn't need a camera. And the prices for those phones are even lower than what you can get. So, the question is, what are those extra cameras? What is that display worth to you? That glass back, that stainless silver. Is it really worth going out of your way to spend $1,000 for a phone when you could pick up a phone that, while it may be bulky, it gives you a better display of what you're seeing and also does the same job? That's the question. So, overall, should you get the iPhone X? Now, before I say anything further, I just want to say I'm not speaking to everyone. This is for the general people. Now, for those of you that are like high advanced tech that need that display, that's not what I'm saying. If you want this phone, go ahead. I'm just talking to the average person. An average person, like someone that is like me. We wake up every morning, look at our phones, go to school, go to work, come home, and do what we need to do. That's an average person. And if you're like that, personally, in my opinion, I would go for the iPhone 8 Plus. With that said, though, I do appreciate that this phone is in the market because, honestly, without this phone, we probably wouldn't have some upgrades coming in the future. Now, I get what Apple's doing, you know. They're honestly just milking everything they're worth. And personally, I would say this is what's going to kill them and be their downfall. They're being greedy, and honestly, it's a shame that they had to charge this much. Now, you're probably wondering, why did I get this phone? Well, originally, I was going to switch over to Samsung, but I didn't want to go through that hard work. It was just too much process to switch over. So I figured, you know what? The X is perfect for me. I like the screen to body ratio. It's definitely a step up from the iPhone 7, so I figured I'd take it. But to be fair, it's a great phone. But just think for a second. What is that extra dollars worth to you? Are you going to go out and spend flat out $1,150 for this phone? Or you could take the 8 Plus, which is much bigger, wider, does the same job, but saves you a few dollars? That's the question. So overall, it's up to you. But I just had to put my input on it, and that's all I had to say. So thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know, do you have the iPhone X? Are you enjoying it? Probably I'll change my opinion, because right now I'm looking at it, price is ridiculous, but I paid for it, there's nothing I can do. So thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and peace.